What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Banlist begging season. Please, Konami, announce if you're gonna do a banlist before the WCQ. Please tell us all. The begging has begun on Twitter. It's all over the place. The speculation then leads into the market, and people start to try to piece together and weave their theories on what you should be picking up. That grass looks greener. Oh my gosh, Infernoids, they got support. How are they going to compete? How's Konami gonna sell this at a banlist? Everyone's talking about banlist, and Infernoids are right here, so they end up doing that with cards, right? So that grass looks greener is absolutely spiking. It has 0 reprints at the moment. Do you really think Konami, though, would be freeing the card without a copy lock and loaded somewhere down the product line to sell? Maybe they already have it. Maybe it's in the 10s. The 10s are doing all those dang 25ths. So people try to do all that together, right? And they really want to push these narratives of what will and won't. But it's all speculation around one of the biggest conversations in the game, because the ban list is one of the biggest utilized tools that we have. Swap Frog I also thought might be ban list talk, Ronin Totem stuck on the list. But when it comes down to it, the ultra rare being bought out is more for ice barrier representation along with Sprite, people figuring out combos there. And if there's anything else with that, do let me know. I don't think this is purely ban list speculation, but this has been doing nothing but coming down, and now we see just a tiny little bump up, a couple of play sets sold. So it is interesting that even the ulti is moving a little as the ultras absolutely spike up like crazy and go towards $6. Battles of Legend is that big conversation, though, as the set has debuted, and it's one of the only 2 sets left to change the WCQ meta, and Yubel got a huge boost in here, and the quantities on cards are definitely fluctuating a lot day one. They're getting listed and certain ones are getting bought, so we'll see the true results throughout next week of what is hot or not, what's over speculated, bought out, and then what is also actually going to accumulate up in price, because these sets usually do get targeted week 1, right, these days? So we do have Dragon Master Magia coming down a good amount versus pre-sales. Remember the ridiculous $800 price. A lot of people are calling the $700 card in their titles that are pre-recorded, but here it already is towards $450. My thought was that the bottom out lowest would probably be $385 before speculators would buy in heavy to this. There's probably not a reprint for this in sight anytime soon. It parallels as a Blue Eyes card to the quarter century secret rare exclusive Magicians, and Konami will probably take their time getting around to it and want to make a big buck off it instead of just giving in to complaining of the community. Konami's really good at ignoring the community's complaints. Look at the time rules that never changed back. But when it comes down to it, Sky Striker, Ace Ray, and Yubel are the next top 2. Sky Striker, Ace Ray, I think, has a lot of modern collectability. They're going further into the figure line now. They've now announced Kagari along with Ray and the Rose, and then you get Diviner, which again, Herold, actually a lot of people forget the archetype Herold that this goes along with and does accumulate too as a collectible, but it's more its modern presence. I actually, going straight down, like Archfiend's Advent a lot personally, because I'm a huge Summon Skull simp. Heck, the pillow stays here next to us on the stream, which will be back next week. So when it comes to Archfiend's Advent, I'm going to wait for it to bottom out before I get my copy. I don't think it'll get all that much attention, even as a DM era collectible. I think it's not going to see that use, and then it'll come down, and then people will start to speculate, and I'll find my bubble in there. Personally, that's my plan. It could go anywhere. That's why I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of card prices, and I'm often wrong as well. Branded Fusion, I think, is one of the better ones in here, and we do see that it is above its quote-unquote market price, and a bunch of them sold around that 110 mark, and now it's bumping up. I think this was kind of an obvious call, because so many people put that deck on a pedestal. It's really cool lore, and now we have a quarter century secret rare versus that ultimate rare. With this card in specific, I think a lot of people like to go 25th and Starlights when max raritying, and also it's doing really good at the WCQs. There's a lot of hubbub about that, the gimmick lock, oh, we should ban this, that part of the deck, and Bellion is also up here, but I think Branded Fusion's just more iconic than an extra deck card, but both really solid pieces here to start out, and you see these low quantities versus some being higher. That's indicative of either people wanting to hold them back, and there's also rumors with this set. Let's address rumors. I'm being told Dragon Master Magia it's shorted in the quarter century secret rares. Even with quarter century secret rares, there is clumping, and I've already talked to places like Gamer's Choice that have been able to open and all that, and they're saying no, there's not actually over mass cases. We're talking 100+ cases. There's not actually going to be shorts among the quarter century secret rares. They're seeing the same number of Dragon Master Magia. Now there are short prints within the set, don't get me wrong there, but with the quarter century secret rares, nothing fishy seems to be going on. You have natural variants of clumping because to see all of these, you're looking at a really good amount of cases to be able to see everything, right? Now, when we get to the set, Yubel is holding very strong day one, $65 here. Ignore the initial pre-sale price. A lot of sites put this up around 60, so 65. It does just make the deck so much stronger, and it's a really good card. I like Snatch Steal, like I said, during pre-sales. I felt like it was underestimated. Then we'll see how it goes, but it is a huge lift for past formats. And then you get the, isn't it a secret rare within the set too, I believe? I really like that as well. Wing Karibo's interesting. I saw it pulled and I was like, oh yeah, that's in here. Wing Karibo collectibles and Karibo collectibles do okay over time. I think it'll sink before it goes back up, but you never know with people and their Karibos. And Aroma Seraphy Jasmine's one I think is actually pretty underestimated that we'll get to later, mainly because the Ultra was headed up towards like 30, 35, just because people wanted access to any version, and here the quarter century secret rare is an interesting topic. It's very low quantity because people are going in here right now, but even then it's such a good card. Maybe my player brain's getting wrapped up in there, but the fact that it started out at 40 and the ultras were selling for 30, that seemed like a no-brainer to me personally anyways. Now let's go ahead and talk about the cards you just want access to in the set besides Yubel. Substitute and Yubel are both short printed. I actually don't mind the Substitute being there. Like, I want easy access cards for past formats, but this is kind of how Konami gets to cash back in on those players. So it does make sense Konami would go that route, and, you know, getting the whole playset for what one cost, even with the short print, seems like a fair trade to me personally, and it's a rarity upgrade. The Spiritual Beast Tamer Lara is going for way more than I thought. People are going mega in on the deck, and there is the waifu tax. Of course, never underestimate that, I suppose. I never learned my lesson. So yeah, they are selling like hotcakes right now for 25. I think it should come back down to 20 after the hype, but when it comes down to initial hype and then double down, triple down buyouts and estimated value pulled, you never really know where it's going to go. I feel like Kurikara's a bit much. People were saying this is so sad it's so low in Discords everywhere and like speculating it should be more. So people are piling on it right now, except if you actually look at Kurikara right in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, like the OG secret rares around there. Why are you buying it? What are you all doing? 147 of these right here. Stop it. Get some help. But yeah, people are trying to day one push that one. No, that's not where the value is gonna be, even though this does have an overhyped / appropriately later hyped history. No, not right now. Stop it. Infernoid Evil has come down a good bit in price. Oil is short printed as well. That's why you see 14 of these listings versus everything else. Kind of interesting to see. And I heard the Ice Barrier Synchro was shorted. I haven't confirmed that one. I've just heard that one. So that is also interesting to see it way down in quantities versus like 76, 88. There's like 3 tiers of like pull rates too, like short, mid to short, and then like regular I suppose you would call it the pull rates, which are boosted because other things are short. So I would almost call it a boosted rate. And of course, Konami's been playing around with their short prints. I should probably do the mathematical spreadsheets I used to do. I'm going to be try-harding more at YouTube here again soon. I am going to be streaming. I'm going to be, back, as it were, in the trenches, going ham with Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, and a lot more attentive to detail here in the future. But I have not done that with this set yet. Yeah, Snatch Heal Secret Rare. I really like this one early. Remember Delinquent Duo going to 20? I could see this being like 8, 10, 12, maybe even. Goat is still semi-popular, even though Edison has taken over. Ultra Rare Herold hanging in here at a really strong price is interesting. I have not checked Ultras for short prints, and it looks like people are getting around to the Ultras last in terms of listings, and maybe there are short prints in there too. It would make a lot of sense. Like Magical Musketeer Max, if I recall, was an Ultra short. Wasn't it Ultra? I believe it was. Magical Musketeer Max. And then that's Battles of Legend history is why I bring it up. Yes, it was Ultra, and then it was shorted, so it was harder to pull, which caused some mayhem early on with the set. So they do short into the Ultras with that, and I'll check in more with that for y'all later. Aroma Seraphie Jasmine, again, I specifically wanted to bring up, and it's actually been going crazier since I took a shower just before getting on here, and things are going to change in 30 minutes from this video being uploaded to, the next day. There were some at the low 40s, and then those all sold, and it's only been going up. So again, I feel like this was appropriately looked at in terms of, yeah, this was just 30. Why is this only 42 and people going there? And Plant Good Stuff does really good in the EU. I think we will see some in the US top cut. Speaking of that, Aroma Lilith Rosalina is spiking absolutely crazily in prices. People want access to plant combos. Basically, this has an effect of if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon one non-tuner Aroma monster from your deck. Also, you can't special summon for the rest of this turn except plants. So, a little bit of a plant tour guide with a tuner effect. And people are bringing out Angelica, it seems, which is also a tuner. And remember, this card was extremely priced for a common at one point in its buyouts. It has come back down, but it's still around the $1 common. If you didn't know and you hadn't been paying attention, still pretty good common to pick out of bulk. Ritual Beast Ulti Apelio is also being targeted, as Ritual Beast is being looked at by duelists thanks to the Battles of Legend. So this card has come back up in price for the secret rare. Does it have anything but the secret rare, actually? Ritual Beast Ulti Apelio. Let's double check that. I believe it's its only printing. Yeah, it is. So that is one of the reasons this is going up. Really need to get on more Ritual Beast reprints. Hopefully they plan that in the OTS pack. Speaking of OTSs, Exodia had a buyout. Ooh, I've made so much fun of this for having the sliver of foiling and being 90% common. It started out at $20, which the name Exodia alone probably pulls for more, despite a quarter-century secret rare in the tens for competition and easy access nice versions. People collect every version of Exodia. It's up there in the DM collectibles, but I think often gets overestimated versus the Blue Eyes Dark Magician in name. But yeah, 20 was probably a bit low for an ulti Exodia. 32 seems more right, because remember, even Scapegoat floated down towards that, and that has a lot more foil, but people don't necessarily like how it looks, and it had other competition. Look at that. It's still at 33. It was down lower and has been creeping up. So I think Exodia sitting around there, maybe towards 50 in the future. I've thought a lot of ugly ultis like Raigeki wouldn't take off, and they did. So even if I don't personally like something, I have to remove that aesthetically and think, all right, OTS ulti, people are going to over speculate. Look how high Raigeki is up versus everybody called this card ugly, and it's been higher, yet it's crept down over time. People can really push these narratives on cards as well, though, so you have to keep that in mind. But it's come down, half over the year. But you got to remember, people also dipped on a lot of collectibles with Rarity Collection and Rarity Collection 2. I love being able to go all these different directions, by the way, and take my time longer to give the context and not just speed through Market Watch. And I've heard a lot of y'all enjoying that too. The Black Goat Laughs, again, I think this is kind of comparable to a modern take on Breakthrough Skill. Its quarter-century secret rare is sitting pretty, as the secret rare also spiked. We covered that spike. It's stabilized here around 25-ish, and for that, I would think the quarter century secret rare would be better to hold on to versus future reprints, but it's going to take a long time to reprint because this is from Phantom Nightmare. Most likely it would. You never know with Konami. But seriously, it coming back down on its quarter century secret rare, it makes sense. It's going back up as you look at the alternative. You're like 25, but my money would sink a lot less on a reprint announcement and maybe even go up with this. So I get why people are picking up the 25ths now. Quim is getting a little bit of attention. It's up, down, all around. And it's headed back up right now. People are looking at Branded a lot more for the WCQ after seeing the Nationals results. Do keep in mind we have another set release, though, and how that will affect things, and maybe a ban list as everyone screams for. I personally think we're in our WCQ season ban list, but you do never know with Konami. Sometimes you get surprises. But when it comes down to it, people are looking at this, and it's detailing a pretty good price, despite the fact that Cyberstorm Access is Megaton candidates, because you gotta buy it to play it if you're playing that deck, right? Here's one of the weirdest buyouts to me in a long time. Oh, look, the Lart just dropped for Treeborn Frog. We finally got the Halo. Let's also buy out Duelist Saga. I get it's a unique rarity. A lot of people crapped on this rarity at first, and it's become popular over time. But, like, I don't get it. Maybe you just started hearing Treeborn Frog, and you're like, I'm gonna get the one I want now. I do not get this correlation at all. Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, I'm glad the Lart is finally here, and at an affordable $10, it's pretty nice. Tyrant's Tirade's a card I always pulled out of bulk. Apparently some stun decks are looking at it. It reads, tribute 2 face-up monsters you control. Neither player can activate the effects of effect monsters that activate on the field or in hand. Well, hey, those Morganite cards don't really contradict this, and it's been going up pretty steadily. It's a $1+ card about now, so be aware that this has gone up over time. Dark Hole has been doing nothing but coming down for its quarter century secret rare till recently it has bumped back up. So people are looking a lot at the past battles of Legend as this one comes out. It's an effect that seems to happen for a lot of sets, like how I was warning, hey, look at your Rarity 1 collection cards as Rarity Collection 2 comes out. Even if it flops, people will be looking back. And it's happened for multiple cards in Battles of Legend. Monstrous Revenge. I like this field wipe. It's iconic to Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think it's coming back into the metagame necessarily anytime soon, but I've seen a lot of it in Master Duel for Best of 1 format. And then Bellion itself has come back up a really good amount for its quarter century secret rare, and is like on full buyout mode right now, which is a bit weird to me because every other version had its buyout a bit ago and then just sunk back down. Like, it got a ton of attention, it got a buyout, and almost every Bestial graph is like that. Spike up, come back down. Oh, let's go to the nicer version, to be fair. It went up, and it sunk back down. So, the graph is like this for every single one. I don't know that the quarter century secret rare will act any differently necessarily, and how this will perform at the WCQ. You usually see a Dragon Link in Top Cut. They find a way. Dragon Link finds a way. But everybody hype into it, and it's come back down 50% on a lot of these cards. So, be aware of that. And also Dissipator, just to note, again, Cyberstorm Access, that's going to be up per reprint. So with cards like this, if you're buying them for the WCQ, I do personally say offload them probably as fast as you can when you're done with the WCQ, or even right now as people head into the season while they still retain a pretty good amount of value, trying to play what's gonna miss the 10s, and then there's another reprint set around the corner somewhere in Christmas like they did with Mavens, or however Konami's gonna play it. Like, don't get caught with the cards like that. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation and going more in depth. I really enjoy doing this too.